Hello guys, and welcome to part 11 of my PGR2 Platinum walkthrough. New video, new series, of course, and this series is called the GT series or Grand Touring series. Well, the first race is a time run, and we're using a Mercedes AMG SL55 or Mercedes SL55 AMG. That's the right spelling. We're driving this time around Yokohama. It's a short track, going only to the right, like in an oval, and it's a short challenge too, under a minute. Well, that was certainly very close. The next challenge is again in Yokohama, but this time it's a overtaking challenge, and I'm using a new car, which is the 550. Well, now I'm gonna embarrass myself by trying to pronounce it the right way because it's Italian. Barchetta, I don't know. Basically the convertible, the cabriolet version of the 550 Maranello. First car is down. It's the muscle cars this time around again. We need to overtake 7 of those. Like, you need to overtake 7 cars in a given time, which was almost 4 minutes, I believe, from the beginning. And I put in again a timer which runs downwards. Not really super difficult, this challenge though, but you do need some of the faster cars. This is again one of those series where the field of cars that belong to the series is rather balanced. Although I would probably say that here in this series it's a little bit less balanced than in the last one, in the supercar series. Here the gulf and the difference between the fastest and the slowest car is a little bit bigger. Like, the absolute slowest car of this class around the track would be the Bentley Continental GT, probably. Well, one of those Bentleys from 2003, roughly, and the fastest is the 575 Maranello. Basically this car, but a tad quicker and with a fixed roof. So the difference between those two cars is actually rather big. You don't really have a chance against the Ferrari and the Bentley at all in 4th car down, in none of those challenges really. So yeah, because this challenge is a little bit more on the tougher side without being nearly impossible or anything, yeah, it was absolutely necessary to use one of the faster cars of the class. 5th car down, the Camaro, the modern Camaro. which I like a lot, by the way, which was also a Need for Speed 4, high stakes. So 6th car down, the Ford Mustang, again modern one. Well, back then it was modern, today it is not an oldie, like not a classic car, but yeah, it's not really that modern anymore. So the last car, which is the, what is it? This should be the Camaro? No, this is the Trans Am, I believe, right? Yeah. And we got roughly 5 seconds left by overtaking it. So yeah, that's the challenge. So this time around it's a street race, again in Yokohama though, again during the day and in the dry, which is a good thing. But this time I'm using again a new car, not completely new, but yeah, the car I've just been talking about, the 575 Maranello, the faster version of the two Ferraris in this class. And yes, it is the fastest car of this class, it is the class leading car. And I kinda stupidly recorded that a little bit shittily. So yeah, I started the race here again in the third person. camera as usual, as you know it by now. So what's the field? In front of us a Lotus Esprit, behind us too. Esprit V8, one of my absolute favorite cars ever, from Lotus anyway, although they only do build amazing cars in my opinion. But yeah, it's still my favorite Lotus. Reminds me a little bit of a cheap Lamborghini, like a poor man's Lamborghini, a little bit, without insulting any Lotus fans here, because it's still an absolutely amazing car and has incredible performance stats, considering its given HP and weight. It's just amazing, really. Oh, this turn was so hard to get right, really. And the car in front would be one of the class leading cars, the SL55 AMG, which should be, considering all factors and measuring by lap time when going around the track, I would say it's still the only, in exclamation marks, only the third fastest car of its class, while this one I'm driving is the fastest. And the second fastest would be the 575, and then it should probably be the SL55 AMG. While at the back, I'm repeating myself, I know, or like completely at the back, the slowest would be the Bentley, and anywhere between all of those would be the Lotus, which is, well, realistically seen, it doesn't have a chance against the Ferrari and the Mercedes, really. And then you also have the Ferrari Testarossa, which is going by, well, again, speed around the track. It should be the fourth fastest car behind the Mercedes, right behind the Mercedes. I'm pretty sure I forgot one more car. I can't remember. Oh, now I did remember, and I believe it is the last car of this class, which is the Aston Martin Vanquish. Well, is it worse or better than the Lotus? It is worse. But is it worse or better than the Bentley? Going around the track, difficult to say. I believe they're rather equally quick or slow, if you want so, because they are both very, very heavy, while the Bentley is being like really massive, should be even heavier than the Vanquish. Both rear-wheel drive, although no, I believe the Bentley is all-wheel drive, if I'm not mistaken, but the Vanquish is obviously rear-wheel drive, while my Ferrari is front motor rear-wheel drive, yeah, just as the Vanquish. Oh my god, what a name. And we finally overtook the SL55 AMG. It was a rather tough race. Honestly, that's why I opted for the fastest car, because as you have seen, one of the class leading cars was right at the front of the pack at the start of the race and drove off into the distance. So not easy to catch up to him with a slower car, really. So yeah, the 575 Maranello, one of my absolute favorite supercars of all time, one of my absolute Ferraris, obviously, of course, too. Not bad this time around for this corner. I have a huge soft spot for this car. I love its design, I love its front engine, rear-wheel drive setup, and how it drives. Because of that, it's like slidey and drifty, but still easy to control at the limit, and really quick, and just sounds great and looks amazing. I understand why people would say it's one of the uglier Ferraris, because I believe it's the opinion of many, but well, I can't agree, because I just love it, and it was also one of my favorite cars in Need for Speed 3 and 4. I guess that's really a lot of nostalgia playing in from the childhood and all these Need for Speed games. But anyway, I absolutely adore it. Alright, the next challenge is this series' first head-to-head. I'm using again a new car, the Aston Martin Vanquish, in British racing green, and we're of course driving in the rain, like fitting with the car, as being a British car. So what here was important at the start of the race is to drive as perfectly as you can and, well, smash him to the side, to the Mercedes, if you're using the Aston Martin or possibly Bentley, because otherwise you would absolutely stand no chance against the Mercedes, except you're using a faster car. The Bentley, though, I believe wasn't possible to with the Bentley it wasn't possible to do it, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I did try, not sure though. So this is the only time I'm gonna use the Aston Martin in the challenges. Unfortunately, I did try a lot of times to win the challenges with this car, to win some of the other challenges with this car. Beautiful drift, by the way, but I didn't succeed. It was just really too slow, so this is the only time I'm gonna use it for my video series. So this very next challenge is the hardest, most difficult challenge of all challenges in the entire game. You know, in the Kudos Championship and the arcade mode. So right here in the beginning, you need to do here a little slide as to not to lose the combo. And you better do that. And you better slide a lot, and you better be quick, because if you're not, you will lose. Look how close this is, how tight they are together, the cone pairs. In this section you need to be really quick, or else the chain combo breaks. If you're too quick, you're driving into the wall. So like perfect balance is needed. Here a drift, and here I'm always doing drifts between the cone pairs, because otherwise the chain combo again will break. I don't know how anyone was here quick enough without doing the slides. I don't know. I've seen it at Striblos Gaming on YouTube channel. Cool guy, has a great Project Gotham Racing and other stuff channel, but I don't know how he did it. I have not done it a single time, so I needed to drift there. Here again, very tight. Did you see that? This corner here, I don't know how the chain combo didn't break, because I was basically too slow. So here you can be absolutely too slow if you drive too slow through the corner, through this very tight corner you've just seen, the right-hander. But if you drive just a little bit too quick, you will touch the cone. So this is the challenge I obviously needed the most time and most retries for. So here in the second lap you can of course floor it. You don't need to do this little slide, the little drift in between, because you're now quick enough. But then again, you can also be not quick enough. I had those times also where I don't know, I just didn't have enough speed on the straightaway. So yeah, now here again this tricky right-hander, and here there was also this entire section very close. I have barely enough speed to hold the chain combo, and this is where my chain combo broke, because I just, after that, I just did the drift too slowly. But as you can see, I have now already enough points in order to beat the target of 12,250, and this is why I just, I just gunned it, I just sent it and just tried my very best, but without being too cautious. Stribler, the guy I'm talking about, was talking about. Look, I was just a little bit too quick and I touched the cone. He did this challenge in one consecutive combo, the entire 2 laps, which is incredible. But anyway, this challenge is from hell. The one who designed it must be saddest, honestly. This is like, this particular challenge should be featured in one of the Angry Video Game Nerds episodes. He should do this challenge and make an entire episode just on this, honestly. Anyway, just enjoy the replay. Okay, after finishing the hardest challenge of the game, there is a somewhat easy, if you want so, street race through one of my least favorite tracks because it's set in Hong Kong, my least favorite city in the game, concerning the flow of the tracks, at least. And I'm using a new car this time around, for the first time the Ferrari Testarossa I've been talking about already. Oh, that was good cornering here. A pretty tough challenge, I must say, at least with the Testarossa. I needed many retries. But for now, my driving for the first seconds or minutes, whatever, was actually very good. Once you're in front, it's relatively easy to stay in front. But to catch up to them, especially the faster cars, faster than yours, is or can be pretty difficult in this game. But this is why it's so important to get to the front, like in the first corners, basically. Do not give any time to the opponents to build up a lead, because it will get harder and harder with each corner to really catch up to them. Oh, that was bad, and my clean race bonus is gone. I believe it was gone before that anyway. And for good measure, the second time, just to make sure again. This was not really supposed to happen. Like I just tried to block him, but he spun the other Testarossa, the blue one, and now of course the others came right along and tried to take advantage of the situation. I like this corner though, really. That one had a really good flow. And the part here, I like actually quite a lot, although I did crash here sometimes. But this part, I like it. And then the left-hander through the tunnel, I enjoyed that section quite a lot. And those corners after that, those very fast, very technical corners after this straight, beginning here. Well, I did it better than the last lap, but not perfect. Still pretty quick. And we're over 1,000 kudo points. Nice. So this time around I wasn't lazy ass and didn't look back to check where my opponents are during the replay. It makes it a little less exciting, I admit. Still was a good race and generally good driving by me. Again, this favorite corner of mine, yeah, beautiful. Not perfect, but good line. Yeah, that was pretty good. Used almost all of the existing space. Now here again, rather clean. Wow, that was close. Did you see that? Almost hit the barrier on the left side. Not really quick through here, but at least clean. Not bad. And got 25 points for the clean section of the race, or of the track, of this lap. Now I really like to know myself where my opponents are by now, but yeah, okay. In the replay it will be viewable anyway, so no biggie. Now that was beautiful again, and I got 2 times kudos points for a clean line, obviously, because yeah, it was pretty clean indeed. Here I got 1 point. It seems that wasn't too clean. And then I just saw I got kudos for 2-wheel drive. Like, that happens a lot in the game, and I don't know how. I don't see it or I don't feel it, but apparently the cars often just drive on 2 wheels Maybe it's because also of the jumps, not only when you actually almost flip the car, so to say, but just because of the jumps, possibly. Although I don't even see where here a real jump, even a small one, is. But anyway, you know, I'll take the kudo points. I'll gladly take them. Again, here it was 4 points for two-wheel driving. Because, yeah, apparently there is a small jump, but it doesn't seem like the car would actually get air. But yeah, apparently it does. Was that the last lap? Yep, it was. So enjoy the replay. Okay, so the next challenge is a overtake challenge through the streets of Moscow. And I've taken the 575 Maranello because it's the fastest car, because this challenge is actually pretty damn hard. Like, wow, that might be the hardest overtaking challenge in the game. Definitely one of the hardest. But did you see how I flew by him? What a speed difference that makes the supercar versus a muscle car. The muscle cars have good acceleration, but almost always abysmal top speed, at least the old ones. You know, the classics from the 60s, 70s. Second car down, Jaguar XKR. Cars to overtake 7, as mostly, not always, mostly, but 2 cars down, only 5 left. And we had, what, 340 or something, 350 at the beginning, I believe 340. And, well, yeah, because it was so difficult, this challenge, I did need, of course, as always, quite a few tries, you know. It was still a very fun challenge. I like the layout of this track. Most layouts in Moscow I enjoyed a lot, if not all. It's very speedy, you know. You can just sand it and floor it. Third car down again in Jaguar. Like this part here of the right-hander I just drove through. You're just driving full throttle, pedal to the metal all the time over the start-finish line and further down and down and down. And by the end of this straight I had, I believe, over 280 km/h, if I'm not mistaken. And this corner here, you could gain so much time by driving it so aggressively and quick, and just as I did right now. Although that wasn't quite perfect, it's possible to do it even a little bit quicker. And this section here too, that was very good how I did it right now. Like, if you really use all the space, it's like a slingshot. You take so much speed onto the straight and gain a lot of time. So the fourth car in the front is the Morgan, which I'm gonna take on this straightaway. Yep, it's pretty quick actually. Now this somewhat a little bit tricky cornering section, and here you need to use all the space, take all the speed you can. That was pretty good by me, so that should have been the fifth car, yeah, the Audi RS whatever, and just really send it. Now the Porsche. Now, am I gonna do it even better than last time? Nope, that was a little bit slower, almost crashed into the wall. Before I took the Ferrari, I did try with I believe, actually every single other car of this class. There's my clean race bonus gone. This challenge, and just really maxed every car and just got closer to the final opponent every single time with every single car, but just had to realize at some point that really I'm only gonna be able to beat this challenge with the Ferrari. I was convinced the Lotus might be even enough, or at least the Mercedes, but nope. You really need speed, you need that V12 power. Oh, look how close that was. Less than 2 seconds left. This Ferrari should have a V12, right? I'm not embarrassing myself here, but yeah, you needed that Ferrari power for here. So anyway, enjoy the replay. So the next race is a hot lap, and obviously we would be using the fastest car, as most hot laps, if not all, are very difficult to beat. Fortunately, we're driving again from Moscow. I like those tracks, as already said quite a few times. And we're driving past the Red Square here, all these amazing buildings at night again. Again, using all the space you have on this huge place square you're driving on here. And that challenge, just as the overtaking challenge you've just seen, was also pretty damn hard. Needed quite a few tries, yet again, and while doing so driving the fastest car of its class, so yeah, you need to be quite speedy here. This corner, I liked it. I've taken it beautifully. I don't know why, but I almost always took that one quite neatly. And now the part where you go down. Now again, very technical here. Here, this part, I mean. Take all the speed you can. Now this left-hander over the curb. Yep, just like that. Again, a little bit of curb, taking all the space. That wasn't perfect. Still pretty good. And here again, using all that space. Now that was almost perfect. Almost hit the wall there, the rail. Very quick part here, hard braking. And this S-curve again, now to the left, the last turn. Okay, 5 seconds left. How much time is gonna be left when we drive through? Of course, less than a second. So the next race is again a street race again in Moscow, and again at night, during the night. But this time I'm using for the first time the Bentley. Of course I did try many challenges before that with the Bentley, but really it was absolutely not quick enough at all, as it is the slowest car of this class. And this race, because of this turn, only this race made it possible for me to win with this car. Because yeah, as you've seen, you can just push them very unpolitely and unfairly to the side, so you can get in front. Because if you don't do that in the very first corner, this right-hander, where I did it, they're gone. They are just gone. If you're using this car, you will have no chance of catching them. Like absolutely zero chance. No matter how quick you would be driving. Absolutely impossible. So yeah, and even after pushing them to the side, every time when I tried this race, I needed still, 20 tries, probably more, because they are just so quick, especially this Mercedes. Man, it's just killing it here on the streets of Moscow. Honestly, it's just so much better than the Bentley and the rest of the field. It's still a lot quicker than the Lotus Esprit and the Ferrari Testarossa and the Vanquish anyway. So I had to defend my line and myself all of the race, throughout the entire race, against the Mercedes, and just drive as quickly as I could, like as cleanly as I could. Like here I tried, fortunately it did a little mistake, but basically I touched it again. And also fortunately, because I was holding it up, the Mercedes, the others could catch up to us and, well, basically fight with it too. As of now, the Lotus is in front, if I'm not mistaken. It might be the Testarossa. No, it's probably the Testarossa. Driving next to the beautiful river there. Is it the Neva? Man, again, geography is like absolutely not my talent, not my strongest suit. But yeah, it might be the Neva. Please comment below and educate me a little bit on the geography of Russia and Moscow. I would love to read. No sarcasm. Because yeah, as a native Russian speaker, I'm a little bit ashamed that I don't know jack shit about Russia and this geography, like not a lot. I mean, I can name even 10 cities of Russia, like let's try St. Petersburg, Moscow, Vladivostok, Chelyabinsk. Well, there you go. That's that for 4 cities. I mean, I know some of the other cities. I have heard their names, but I just forgot. This is the only ones I can remember. Those 4 from a country that is bigger. Well, that is the biggest country in the world, essentially. Of course, it doesn't have that many. Like, it has a really low amount of cities compared to its size, but still. Oh yeah, and we've gone through barely. Well, the next challenge was very fun. A head-to-head again. Once again, and we are using the SL55 AMG, which is noticeably, as you can see, worse than the Ferrari. But if you've driven it to the max, you can absolutely win this challenge, even with the Merc. Now comes the high-speed part, but very bumpy. Extremely difficult to navigate without crashing, as you can see. I lost my clean race bonus yet again. I lost some speed. But anyway, I was still catching up. Oh, that was so hard to brake there. The car was just, with every time, tried to spin out. We just lose control. Oh, here again, a very fast part, very tricky. Getting closer to him every time, yeah. Now, finally, we're almost through. I'm having the inside line, taking advantage of it. Oh, a little bump from him. Caught it. And from here on, I didn't let him overtake. Oh, it's almost the end of the challenge anyway. Now again, very high speed part. Really love that here. Now this fast left-hander, and we're through. So the next challenge is an overtake challenge again, the second of the series I believe, and for the first time I'm using the Lotus Esprit V8. That's for you, Andrew, mio amico, enjoy it. So again, we need to overtake 7 cars. First is down, the Lexus SC430, driving this time through Barcelona. What did we have? Roughly two minutes to overtake those 7 cars. 2 are down. Next 2 inside. It's a little track. Jaguar XKR, Cadillac SVT or something, if I'm not mistaken. Now the next one is the Audi. Should be the 5th car. Yeah, it is. So this very technical corner section here again. Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. No, that was the 5th car now. Yeah, the 5th car, the Porsche. So Toyota 2000 GT. 6th car, and the last one is the Porsche at the front. The Porsche Carrera, the old one. Oh, wow, what a mistake. I could have overtaken it with more than half a minute left, so that's not bad. But yeah, that was possibly the easiest overtaking challenge in the entire game, for sure. You could probably win it using the Bentley and the Aston Martin Vanquish. But because I didn't use the Lotus yet, it was its turn. Anyway, we're basically through, right? Yep. The next challenge is a hot lap, and as you all know by now, because I am talking about it every single time, the hot laps are regularly very difficult to beat, so I opted for the fastest car. This track configuration with this straightaway here is used almost every time when you drive a challenge in Barcelona, but it's very fun. Good tracks, I like those in Barcelona a lot. Very technical actually, like this corner here section. And the next one, where you need to go really close to the wall. That was much better and quicker than it looked. Like I swung myself around the corner, if you want, so like it's almost like I danced around this corner. I liked how I did that. Difficult challenge, by the way. Yep, less than half a second left. So the next challenge is a head-to-head, the second one I believe of this series, and I'm again using for the second time the Lotus V8, and that one is once again for you, Andrew. So enjoy. Red Esprit V8 versus a red 575 Maranello. Like, can it get any better, huh? Your favorite car against one of the most amazing Italian supercars through the streets of Barcelona. There you go. Okay, anyway, let's get serious again. So this is a very tight track, again, used quite often in the Kudos Championship. Again, it's important to overtake the faster car as quick as you can, as to not let it get away, because staying in front is much easier than catching up. It does this mistake every time that it did at the beginning of the video, which what you saw, and this is, or almost every time, and you just need to take advantage of it, and then you would stay in front. Obviously the Ferrari is much quicker than the Lotus, but this on this tight track, when you drive well, use all of it, and you take this corner, but very technical corner, as quick as you can, you can absolutely stay in front. The Vanquish and the Bentley wouldn't be capable of doing this challenge though, definitely not. From the Lotus upwards it would be possible though, with the Lotus Testarossa, Mercedes 550 and of course 575. Alright, that should be it. Enjoy the replay. I also edited one extra camera angle, like from, you will see now, and I played a lot with the camera settings, so as to make it look a little bit more exhilarating, yeah, from this camera, because the camera is so low. It just looked absolutely cool when you were hunting him down, and then he would hunt you down. It just looks like something from a movie, like a chase scene from a movie, with a lot of imagination. I admit, games today look a lot better, of course, but yeah, I kinda enjoyed that camera angle. So anyway, I'll leave you alone with the replay. Have fun. So the next challenge is this series' Speed Trap Challenge, and if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the hardest in the game. That's why I used manual gearing again for this challenge. Otherwise, I'm using automatic. Would be too much of a hassle in normal races. But yeah, target 215 km/h or 134 mph, and well, we're through. That's that. Okay, so the second to last challenge is the next challenge, and it is in Washington at night. I'm using for the second or third time the Ferrari Testarossa. I did try this challenge literally, I believe, over 100 times with the Aston Martin Vanquish, because I really wanted to use this car a second time because I really like it. And more to that later. Well, anyway, it just wasn't possible. I was a few times very close to doing it, but no, not with this field of cars. You know, at the front, the 550 and the 575. So yeah, with a Vanquish, even if you would drive pretty much perfectly, you would need to rely on them doing a lot of mistakes, and that just happened very rarely, like here right now. So if they did mistakes, I did mistakes too. I just couldn't catch up, and if I didn't make any mistakes, they weren't doing any. So yeah, it was after a long while. I was just really fed up. I had enough and just opted for the next quicker car, which, well, would have been actually the Lotus, but then I opted for the Testarossa because, if I'm not mistaken, I did also try with the Lotus, and yeah, it wasn't quick enough as well. So anyway, yeah, the Testarossa, 80s hypercar. Well, it was never a hypercar, but the 80s supercar, if I'm not mistaken, with the Lamborghini Countach. Is it true that the word Countach is something that an Italian, or Countach, I don't know how you would pronounce it in Italian. Is it true that Italians say that word, or used to say that word, as an expression of astonishment? Because that to me is astonishing in itself, that they would use such a word for a car, like as for a name for a car, a sports car. That is so very Italian, but yeah, I love it. And obviously the Countach would be one of my absolute favorite supercars of all time. And the Testarossa was the star of this 80s show, which I can't name, but you know which one I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll leave you alone with the replay. So, welcome to the last challenge of the series, which is in Washington again, but this time during the day, 3 laps. And I'm using the fastest car because, as in tradition, the last race, the last challenge of the series is the hardest one. It was really difficult, just very difficult. The cars in front were always the 550 and 575, and it's a rather speedy track. You need a lot of straight line speed, so yeah, the only viable option was another 575, so I did take that. Anyway, in the last race I wanted to talk about the Aston Martin Vanquish V12, it is, pretty sure. And while this car is very, very heavy and behaves that way during the drive, you can really feel its weight in every single game I have driven it. I learned to really love it. I don't know what it is about this car, but I absolutely love its design. I love how it drives, how it handles, how it feels, how it sounds. Front engine, rear wheel drive, layout. Well, what was that? The Vanquish S? That's like the high-end Vanquish version. Had what, 470, 480 HP, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, while it's not the fastest car going by HP, and especially its weight and the resulting performance test, resulting out of that, I don't know, I just grew to love it. One of my favorite cars ever. I have come to contact with it the first time in, pretty sure it must have been Test Drive 4 on the PlayStation 1. Like, these games had incredibly crappy car models if you look at them today. Like, some of those were okay, and I believe actually that the first letdown, the Vanquish, had an okay-ish model, although they were always much worse than the ones in Need for Speed and especially Gran Turismo games. But then you would look at a Skyline R34 in the games, and it just looks so ridiculous, so ridiculously wrong. Like, yeah, they had some very bad modeled cars in the games, but still, nonetheless, they were really fun. We always played the demo. Crashing was fun, being chased down by the police, and the idea of driving through all these major cities was so cool to us back then, to me. Well, in PGR, and before that, Metropolitan Street Racing? No, Metropolis Street Racing, you know what I'm talking about, the game on the Dreamcast. Picked this idea up, basically, and, well, just made it infinitely better, you know. Executed this idea infinitely better, especially the Project Gotham Racing games. For sure, I always hope that Forza would do a third line of their series. Well, now you have 2 with Forza Motorsport, which I like and respect a lot, and Forza Horizon 4, which I played for the first time yesterday, I believe, on my new Xbox Series X. Yeah, I didn't get a PS5, so it had to be a Series X. I'm in Germany. They were also gone from Amazon in, I don't know, well, certainly less than an hour. I believe less than 10 minutes also, like the Xbox. I'm talking about the Xbox. So it's weird, yeah, the thirst for an next-gen system is very, very high worldwide, even in Germany, which is absolutely not Xbox land, not at all. This console was sold out very, very quickly, and is to this day, after launch, you can't find it anywhere. Well, yeah, you have these 2 lines of the Forza games, which I like and respect a lot. But it would be cool if they would do not only Forza Motorsport and Forza Horizon, but a third spin-off, if you want so, which would be Forza Cities, like a spiritual successor to PGR. That would be phenomenal. Oh man, I would buy an Xbox just for that, really. But, well, we can't have nice things, so we gotta amuse ourselves with Forza Horizon and Drive Club. which are both amazing games, but it's just not the same, really. Anyway, the Aston Martin, I've driven the second time in Gran Turismo 3, and this is where I really grew to love this car. Again, it felt very heavy even in the game, slow, you know, but it's just fun. Everything about it, the design, the sound, just how it moves, how it feels when you fight it around the corners. I don't know why, but yeah, I absolutely love this car. And it was one of the episodes on Top Gear back then, the 575, which I'm driving now, against the Vanquish S. I remember what a great episode that was, by the way. But yeah, the comparisons of Top Gear were quite often lacking a little bit. I mean, their production was amazing and this episode was amazing too, but to even start to pretend that the Vanquish would have any real chance against a 575 Maranello, sorry, I don't believe that. So anyway, this should be the last corner. Yep, it is. Because this is the last race, I leave you alone with the replay as always, and well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, as always, that you enjoyed it, that you had fun watching it, and if you did, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe a sub, maybe share the video somewhere. And well, because we have a few parts, a few videos left, I certainly hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.